Okay, so a couple years ago we reviewed the Ybravo Generation 1 25-inch commercial mower, and this year they came out with an improvement to it. This is called the Gen 2 model, and the most important thing you need to know about this product right here is that just like the logo says here, this is a commercial product. And there are a lot of things that they do on this mower to make sure that that name is paid off in the way that the machine performs and lasts. So a couple things just right off the bat. One of my favorite things that Ybravo did on this mower, and it's something that they've carried through, is the way that they go and they do their cables. So basically you can see here that the cables on this machine right here are run inside this howell handle. And this handle is very, it's a very rugged handle, but those cables being let up through the handle allow us to get real close to anything that's out in the field. So whether it's bushes or whether you're going along a chain link fence, you don't have to worry about those cables getting caught in something and getting ripped off, because it's probably happened to some of you before, and it's not a pleasant experience. It takes you down for a while. So that's one of the things that's really important to note. Another thing that you'll note right off the bat is the front of the machine looks a lot different, and that's for a couple reasons. One, there's this bumper or this engine guard that's built right into the unit. And the reason that's there is because you've all had stuff flying around in the back of your truck or your trailer. It's come crashing into the engine, and all of a sudden you have expensive engine repairs that you don't want to have to deal with. And this pretty much so eliminates 90% of anything that would be coming flying through there. So really nice feature. The other thing is this independent front axle. On a Ybravo versus most of the mowers out there, we have a solid axle here that's been integrated. Now that axle does a lot of things for us. One, it actually makes the mower much more rigid, and the other thing it does is it makes it much more durable when it comes to having these wheels last. So one of the wear points on most mowers is that many times the wheels are actually connected by tab steel right here on the edge of on the deck mount, and what ends up happening is they bend this way, they bend that way, you straighten them out, get a little crooked, you bang into something else, get straightened down, and over time, just like a pop can, when you're flipping that tab back and forth on the back, eventually that metal is going to break. And so this solid axle, by the way, with bearings in all the wheels, not only rolls great, provides that stability, but also is a great feature over time for durability. Okay. Another thing that's pretty cool is that the size of these adjusters, this mower will go up to a 4.5-inch cutting height, and the size of these are really easy now to grab onto. Sometimes, they get kind of stubborn, and you're sitting there, your hands getting beat up because you got this little tab you have to work with. These are very ergonomically correct and easy to adjust. Okay. As we move on to this side of the machine here, one of the things you're going to notice right off the bat is that this is a different engine. So in the last version we tested, in the Gen 1, we were looking at a Honda. This is actually a Kawasaki 180 cc engine, and it's a commercial grade engine as well. And one of the best things about it is this air filter right here. Very easy to get to, take off, clean what you need to clean out, put it back, and as we know, in the hot summer months it gets a little dusty. That can really bog down the performance of your machine when that gets all mucked up in there. So it's nice to have the ability to easily change it and make sure that you can check it on a regular basis. If we look down here at the deck itself, one of the things that Ybravo does is, much like a snowplow would, they create a wear strip here. Now this wear strip is replaceable, and it's pretty inexpensive to do that. And why do you need a wear strip on the bottom of a lawnmower? Well, there's a couple things. One, it's going to help you with keeping a consistent cut, right? So if you get dents and this gets banged up, the integrity of the airflow gets jeopardized. You don't have as much suction on a consistent basis, and it also will mess with how even your cut is. So very important, like I said, to keep that nice and consistent. And this here blade, you're going to bang things, there's no doubt. You're going to hit curbs, you're going to do different things, but this extra wear strip blade here will actually be easily replaced if you need to do that. Okay. As we move on here towards the back of the machine, one of the really cool and unique features that Ybravo has here is they have a 3-position transmission. So here it's in high gear now. You can actually move that very easily to neutral, and then you can move it to a low gear. So low gear, let's say you're going around bushes or you're close to a house or whatever it might be, and you still want to have that power, you know, and you want to have that control at the same time. It's a great option. Neutral, you know, when you're actually doing something that really requires some fine maneuvering, and you don't want to overshoot anything, so you can run it in neutral. And then high gear, obviously, for your straightaways, when you want to pick up the pace and actually get the work done a bit quicker. So a lot of flexibility there, very easy just to reach down very quickly, make your adjustment, and go forward. Another thing that's really important about this commercial mower is the fact that this is a belt drive system. And what that means, I'm going to flip up the mower here and give you a look underneath. But what that really means is that right down here, the drive of the system is actually being driven by a belt versus a direct drive. And that allows Ybravo to do a few different things. One, they can position the engine a little bit further back on the frame, and that's going to make it much more easy to maneuver and a little more balanced. The other thing it does is that with the belt drive system, what it allows it to do is it protects that direct drive engine. If you ever were to hit anything, that belt absorbs a lot of the shock, so it doesn't damage the engine directly. And the last thing it does is it allows, with a pulley, you can change the dimension of the pulley and the belt, and basically what you can do is adjust the speed, okay, of your blade tips. And by adjusting the speed, you can match the speed of the blade tip very closely to what the torque curve is on the engine. So if you change engines between a Honda and a Kawasaki, it allows them to really match it up so that that belt and pulley system is directly related to the very best performance you can get out of any combination. The other thing that's new on this Generation 2 model versus the Gen 1 is the whole control system. And so basically, here you have your throttle all the way forward to choke, pretty self-explanatory. But this is where the changes really came in. So we have a locking blade engagement here, okay? So real easy, but that's to lock in your blade, and very quickly you can grab that and lock it in. But the other thing that they've changed, it's kind of hard to see, but this actually is, this is your engage bail for your transmission, okay? And they've made this ergonomically correct so that it fits your hands well, but it also fits up against the bar, so you can get a nice tight grip on it, okay? So basically, when you're going, you're in gear, and it's always difficult sometimes when you're coming into tight places to be able to feather that clutch. And now that this is ergonomically designed, it's very easy, okay, to in and out on that clutch and give it a little bit of play, so it helps you maneuver in those tight spots, okay? And then the other thing is great is that when it's all off, you can very easily freewheel the machine in reverse, okay, which is something that's a big improvement from where the unit was before with the transmission. So let's try this out, take it for a spin. Let's turn this off for a second and take a look here. One of the nicest things I noticed about what we just did in this little short time is this is not the easiest of grass to cut here, but super clean cut here. Nice clean edges. I went through this heavy grass quite easily. A little striping action even going on there. This is, like I said, this is pretty heavy spring grass here in Michigan, and it actually did a nice job on it. Another thing that really impresses me about this machine is the amount of grass you can pack into this bag. This, you see right here, there's a lot of grass in there, and it is packed in tight, really tight. So it's going to take quite a bit to even get all that grass out of there. But you know, because of the airflow on this deck and the amount of the speed that the blade has, it really does a nice job of vacuuming and cleaning up the lawn after you're done. It's amazing how much grass we're getting out of one single bag and how compressed it was in there when it comes out, and how much grass we're actually getting.